the code says, and I always go, by what, I think should be said. That's the best response to any question that's raised, according to logic, according to how the world is run. In the first place, always go back and think in terms, and I've been saying this more and more lately than any other time, and because I think people can understand it better in answer to your question. Look at yourself as a prisoner of war. So, as a prisoner of war in a prison camp, which is the entire planet, if you're black, you're in a prison camp, milling around in the prison yard. So word comes to you that you're going to get a new prison commandant. All right, so that means just that. Well, in other words, you got a warden of the prison, and the warden that we had, we're not going to have that one anymore. We're going to have another warden. Okay. So you just say, okay, well, they're trying to figure out who's going to be the warden of the prison now. I mean, what white person? Because it's all the wardens of a prison in the system of white supremacists are always white, even though you might have a black person who carries the title of warden. That doesn't mean anything at all, period, in the system of white supremacy. You don't pay any attention to that, the title.
Yes,
you just say it.
Mm-hmm.
See, the way you get people to understand anything is, first of all, you got to say it. If you never say it, how's anybody going to understand something that's not said? I'll stand up and say this anywhere, on a Senate floor or in the Vatican City. Why? Because it's the truth. White supremacy is real. And so any person, this is code now, getting right to the point of your question. Any white person who is able to be a racist probably is one. That's code doctrine. You don't deviate from that, not 1 inch under any circumstance, because that is the only way to get to the truth and to solve this race problem. You have to do that. That's not an option. Any person classified as white and who functions as white, when you ask him, are you white? Because there's a lot of black people who look like they're white, so you got to get that straight. All right? You just simply say, sir, are you white? And if the person says, yes, I'm a white man. All right? I'm a white man. That's what I am. I'm a white woman. That's what I am. Okay. So to a non-white person in the system of white supremacy, it's an absolute must that you suspect that white person as being a racist until proven what? Until proven to you, not to somebody else. So you can't take somebody else's word for anything, getting to the point of your question. You don't take anybody's word. Not even your closest confidant would not say. Now, a person, sometimes a black person might come to one black person and say, now, I know this white person, I raised up with him, and he is all right. I mean, he is not no racist. He ain't got a racist bone in his body. We played together right when we were about 3 years old. I mean, I've seen him come under all circumstances. He ain't never done nothing racist. I mean, blah, blah, blah. Now, when you hear this, you say, oh, that's fine. You don't argue. You never argue about anything that's got to do with racism or anything else if you can avoid it. Never get in an argument. Have a conversation. There's a difference between an argument and a conversation. So a conversation consists mostly of questions. That's the best procedure. So you just simply say, okay, did this person prove to you that they are not a racist? And the person says, yes. I mean, I can vouch for this white person all the way. I mean, they ain't got nothing against black people. They know all about this and all like that. I mean, I've been with them under all circumstances. You say, okay, did this white person prove that to you? Say, yeah, that's what I just told you. He proved it to me. He ain't no racist. You say, okay, fine. Now, the code says, what are you supposed to do when you hear that? Here's what you're supposed to do. Fine and good. That person did prove it to you. Now, that person, that person is going to interact with me in any way, directly, indirectly, they have to start all over again. And what they prove to you, they're going to have to prove it to me. Because by the code, I cannot take your word for a white person not being a racist. That's mandatory. No black person should ever take another black person's word that some white person is not a racist. That is an absolute no-no. That white person has to step forward and prove it all over to you. They probably spent 40 years proving it to that other black person. Now they just might have to spend 40 years proving it to you. That's the way that's got to work. See, we got to have strict rules. In dealing with racism, you got to have strict rules. You got to have a code. That's the one thing that we don't have.